guy like Chad, who would normally be a 4, ends up being like a 10 in New York City.
Sometimes you're unattractive to the men you want. Describe, let's talk about it.
In New York, there is something called the golden syndrome, because there is a disproportionate amount of college-educated women to men. A guy like Chad, who would normally be a 4, ends up being like a 10 in New York City.
Now, it sounds good, right? A disproportionate amount of women have degrees, therefore the men can't compete. And if women are looking for partners that have degrees, this makes sense why they can't find who they want to be with. This is a common refrain we hear everywhere. But it with that college degree, it would have cost you nothing, absolutely nothing. You should be well versed in doing so. You'd find that the separation between degreed women and degreed men in New York City is 1.9%. 1.9%, statistically irrelevant in the case of saying this is why there's a golden penis syndrome. No, you have to accept, right? At some point, the hope is that while we continue to point at the solutions and the problems being external, mainly being men, if only the men did better, if only the men were this or only the men were that, then women would have an easier chance in finding partners, more suitable partners. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes it's you. You're not what those men want. Those men with degrees, they're saying they don't want you, despite you having a degree. As long as you keep thinking this is an equitable thing in terms of dating, in terms of what we want versus what women want. We're looking for different things, and we've always told you that. That has always been a common refrain for men. No, we're looking for this first. We want you to be fit, feminine friendly. We want you to be more feminine. We want you to look a certain way. We care about your shape. We care about these things. It's not, and this is on the surface. This is primary. Then yes, we do care about your character. Then yes, we do care about your job. I do care about the qualities that you have that could potentially be the mother of the children. These are all important things, but first and foremost, if you don't have that right sort of personality, that right sort of look, then it's a non-starter. It's just a non-starter. So instead of looking inward, because we can see this, and the reason we're using this and highlighting this is because you constantly see comments like this, that the men are lacking in disparate numbers. That's why we can't seem to find, we don't have the choice. Forget that already you women outnumber men. If you lined up everyone that wanted to be in a relationship, you would still have more women that would end up without a partner. That's the math there. And again, you don't have to be college educated to actually see this. Until you start looking inward to say, maybe the error is here. Maybe I'm not attracting the type of men that I think I should be attracting. This is an opportunity for your own growth. This is an opportunity for you to understand yourself, to go and say, maybe there are things I need to retool, rekit. Maybe the way I was taught is actually incorrect. I can go back and say, okay, these are the changes I got to make. I got to go to the lab. I got to look at a film tape and say, hey, where did I go wrong? Well, we went wrong initially, how we all grew up teaching you what men are good for or what men want. Those conversations were always void of men in the room. So you simply said what you would like because you're looking at the world through your own feminine lens, your own rose-colored lens, and saying, of course it's like this. I don't know why we never really attributed this and say, that's hubris. That's you being self-centered, thinking that the world operates solely the way you view it. And because women don't really challenge other women, and you see that in the comment sections plenty of times, they'll simply either not say anything or simply blindly support. So you create the echo chamber that ends up supporting a lot of these claims, a lot of these ideas. So when you say something like golden penis syndrome, it sounds good. And that's enough for you to roll with it and say, of course, yeah, of course, that has to be the reason. That has to be the case. Listen, before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss no uploads. Subscribe is Sunday, 7 p.m. Central Time. We just had one yesterday. We had a really good show, really. So if you missed it, replay gang, right? That's what it's for. Besides that, hype the video, share the video. We got some merch in the store. So in this context, the reason why we're going to use this as a jumping off point to highlight when you don't have men in the conversation, when it comes down to talking about men, about the desires, what's important to them, you end up with increasingly bad takes. Golden penis syndrome in New York City, her take is increasingly bad one. It doesn't take you any type of real work to go and find that it's 1.9%. Doesn't take much work. The difference is you simply hear what people are saying repeatedly over and over again. There's more women in colleges than there's men. Yes. More women are buying houses. Yes. But when you don't challenge any of this, when you don't take your college degree, take your graduate degree, your PhD, and think for yourself. The whole purpose of college was to teach you how to think and then convey that with words in written testimony or such. You have the ability to reason. You have the ability to say, suss these things out and say, hey, this is actually fact. This is more of opinion. What you end up getting is bad takes. And these bad takes you internalize, and it creates this division where you want men to essentially settle for women they're saying that they don't really want. When you see takes where where bigger women are saying there's something wrong with men because men should be attracted to them, but men are saying in mass, hey, this is kind of what we want. Now, when you get specifically that 20% of men that most women want, they're saying, yeah, this is what we want, and we're not in the business of settling. Now there's something wrong with men because you simply have not heard their voice. We'll use another example. When you look at home ownership and you use this as another way to exclude men and say you aren't good partners, you aren't stepping up. Men will tell you, I'm not going to buy a home for myself. It's just me. I'm not going to buy a house 15 to 2,000, maybe 3,500 square feet. I'm not going to buy it for myself. Men don't sort of operate in that way, but you use that women have more home ownership than men. We use that as a way to celebrate women and put down men. But again, a little bit of research, a little bit of digging, same thing you're supposed to do in college, you would see, okay, your income hasn't surpassed men in general. You still make about $5,000 less than men. So it's not a capability thing, because if you're making enough money to afford buying a house, but you don't out earn men in mass on average, then it's really more of a decision. You know, men will live in caves if need be. They're fine with that. As long as the cave has a hookup for a PS5, and you need minimal sofas and shit, men will do that. It's when we're in the process of thinking about having a family, having a woman to our life, that we walk down that path. But as relationships increasingly become a trying thing, you're going to see less need, less desire to go out and grab a house for themselves. Again, you don't really need to do a lot of thinking to understand this. You don't really need that college degree to understand that a lot of these points have nuance in them. We've got access to so much information, so many data studies, so much surveys, CDC. You can go and say, okay, what's the demographics of this? What is this? What is that? Let me draw the conclusions for myself. Let me look at it myself. But what we do, we get on TikTok, we go to Instagram, we get on social media, and we wait for someone to tell us what the truth is, how they see it. Now you have women going around in New York City thinking, well, I bet he has a degree, therefore he thinks he is now going from a 4 to a 9. No, I think in mass, men that have the check marks of a lot of things that women claimed were important, they definitely developed that attitude. And why would they not? If you're ignoring 80% of men in favor of 20%, you've eliminated most of the competition for him. Forget if he's 6 feet on top of that. You've eliminated the competition for him. I'd say that was a better idea why men would have a golden penis syndrome. Not a college degree, but height. 14% of the men in the United States are over 6 feet. That would make someone feel entitled. That would probably at some point be the only thing someone posted on a dating profile. I'm 6'4". That's what. Or what are your hobbies? 6'4". Where do you work? I'm 6'4". That's it. That's all you need to know. That's the difference when just doing a little bit of research on yourself, just not trusting whatever you see on the internet, or having a mind for yourself and saying, let me go and look this up. But listen, I could be wrong. You know, if you disagree, let me know down in the comments below. If you see other videos on your screen, check those out. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. And of course, if you listen to Sound My Voice now, you have not subscribed, I think you should. We're just trying to build something dope. See you in the next one.